All right, that was wet. That was a bit unexpected. Anyway, what this reminds me of is the fact that a lot of Super73 customers ask about water and bikes, and can you ride your Super73 in the rain? I'll put this hat on so my hair doesn't look too crazy after that helmet hair. Yeah, so you can ride your bike in the rain, but let's consider some other things. The fact is, it is more dangerous, it's slippery. You get wet, it sucks. Now I'm at work and I'm all wet, so obviously you want to try and avoid that. The other thing to note too is that warranty does not cover water and electronics. So that's just something to be mindful of when you're going out in the rain. It is kind of at your own risk, but we can tell you from our experience riding in the rain that the bikes do withstand that. And the reason why warranty doesn't cover it is because it's a grey area. So a little bit of light sprinkling, like I went through today, is fine, but you've got to take into account like how fast are you riding and how long are you riding for. So when you're riding super fast, say 50 kilometers an hour, and maybe if you're doing that for an hour, that is a huge amount of time for water to get blown and run into all the little cracks and crannies of the electronics. And similarly, if it's a massive downpour of rain, like torrential rain, that can go down the wires and impregnate parts of the electronics. So there's no definition of like what is heavy and what is light rain. So that's where the challenge is for manufacturers, and that's why they decide to not warrant. But we ride it in rain, light rain of course, and only for a short period of time just to get to work. If it's heavy or if it's persistent, take some cover. Okay, so when it comes to water getting into the bike and disrupting it, areas it can get in is like where the cables join, run into the controller, where the battery joins the battery plate. It's a nice tight seal, but you have to imagine that if it's like super heavy rain and it's persistent and you're going at speed, then it could wind its way in there. The other thing to look out for is this controller, this display up here, this diamond display. That's withstood a little bit of a light sprinkle, but again, if it's heavy rain, it could get in there and disrupt that. When you're finished riding, it's a good idea just to wipe down the bike. Get all that water off so it doesn't stick and stay and run. It's not a bad time to clean your bike too, because it's got that light spray of water on it. I'm gonna have to get in there in a bit more detail and take my time with this. See, if you let water sit on surfaces, it can create surface rust. And so that's another reason why it's important to get all the water off. I'm just gonna have to sit here for the next half an hour and wipe this down. Also thinking a little bit more about Super73 and where the electronics have failed with the rain, it is extremely rare. I can think of in the last 4 years of one incident where there was one battery that failed, and through our investigation, that was where the customer had left their battery on the bike and put the whole bike on the back of their car and driven through torrential rain. So I'd have to say, and that was the S1. Waterproofing has improved with the S2 and the RX, but I'd have to say that they're not designed to be put on the back of cars at highway speed in torrential rain. So if you are transporting your bike on the back of your car, it is important to take the battery off and to wrap up the terminals and wrap up this display. All right, thanks. See ya.